What's up, people of the world? It's me again, Alex Swimmer, aka AP3 Jumped, and I am back. And I forgot how to talk on camera. And every time I take a break on YouTube, I'm always very rusty. So I'm filming outside, outside of Burger King, and guess what? This is no joke. Look, they had completely got rid of the fucking play area inside. Look at this. It's all gone. This is no joke. This is not a belated April Fool's joke. Look at all this shit. I just thought I'd show that. I think I'm allowed to show that, but I thought it'd be interesting to just show that. Funny, the lighting is better in this position, facing away from the building. The light shines a lot better on me. So, yeah, it's thought I'd do things a little different, film in a different location. So yeah, this is my first review in a very long time. This is my review for the second Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I thought I'd hurry up and, do this before the new Mario movie comes out. I never got around to reviewing this movie when I first saw it last year. I don't know why. I just never got around to it. But better late than never, I always say. Yes, I quoted that from Shrek, but I guess I will give you guys a spoiler warning right now. Just throughout the whole video. If perhaps you haven't seen the movie yet, watch the movie first. Then watch this video review, like save it in your watch later playlist or something like that. Yeah, if by any chance you haven't seen the movie already yet, watch the movie first, and then see this review, because there are spoilers in this video, like probably from here on out. So here we go. And I do have to say, sorry for the random jump cut right there. I didn't mean to do that, but I do have to say, I had to watch a video review. Just to refresh my memory, the movie, even a year later, was still very memorable to me. There are very few things about the movie that I actually did forget about, so that's good. And I, in particular, I watched Some Call Me Johnny's review for the second Sonic movie, and yeah, he serves as the inspiration for this video. And I'm a huge fan of his. I always like to go to him for anything Sonic related. I always love to hear his opinion on any Sonic game or movie or any piece of Sonic related media at all. He's what I like to call the Sonic guy on YouTube. He's my go-to YouTuber to watch But yeah, he's my go-to YouTuber to watch for Sonic content, and I love to hear his opinions on the Sonic series, because he's a huge Sonic fan. That's his most favorite video game series, and I've been watching him since 2015, and I love his Johnny Versus series. He's one of my favorite YouTube reviewers, actually. He's done like 200 episodes of his Johnny Versus series. I love his format of his review series, Johnny Versus, and I love the theme song too by T-Lopes. It's been arranged several times since the song was first introduced in the Johnny Versus series. There's been like I don't know, like 4 or 5 iterations of the intro, but that's pretty cool. It is pretty cool how he managed to get the composer of Sonic Mania to compose his intro theme song. That's pretty cool. So yeah, thank you, Some Call Me Johnny, for being the inspiration for this video. He actually taught me some things in that video. He mentioned that there was that there was a prequel comic for the second Sonic movie. I had no idea it even existed until I watched the video. It just serves as He gave a brief synopsis of that prequel comic. He said you didn't need to read that before seeing the movie. It just gives you a little bit extra information as to what led up to the events of the start of the movie. So, just so you have more of your questions answered for the beginning of the movie. So, from what little of the comic I was able to see, the artwork looked really nice. And so, yeah, I didn't read that comic in full, like, myself. I didn't take the time to, like, find it or anything and read it by myself, but the brief synopsis that I got, it seemed very interesting. So, long story short, I think this movie's better than the first one. While I did enjoy the first Sonic movie a lot, I actually, I thought it was a perfectly okay film, and I thought my score for it was basically, it was pretty good, and it really did lay the groundwork for the sequel in terms of like the first movie more so existed so that it can give me stuff to look forward to for the second film, if that makes any sense. Kind of like what Marvel movies have always been doing since 2008. But yeah, I thought the second movie was better. I thought the second Sonic movie was better than the first one. There was a lot more references to the source material. There was a lot more budget for the CGI and stuff, and CGI characters, CGI settings, and there is I'm going to sort of jump all over the place in terms of, you know, this isn't going to be a plot synopsis. This is what I get for filming outside. But anyway, this isn't going to be a straight up, like, linear plot synopsis like some Call Me Johnny's video was. It's just, I'm sort of going to be jumping all over the place, talking about whatever I feel like off the top of my head. So, yeah, Sonic still looks great. He's still voiced by Ben Schwartz. Ben Schwartz still does a killer job at voicing Sonic, and Tails looks great. He actually got a slight redesign from the first movie. At the ending of the first movie, he was very fluffy, and he like, particularly in his face, he was extremely fluffy. And in the second movie, on the other hand, the length of his fur is sort of toned down. It's like his fur's like shorter. It's not as fluffy and long, but his fur is more toned down to be a little bit more accurate to his, you know, design in the games. And I gotta say, Tails does look great. Like I said, his fur is shorter, but he still looks very fluffy. he looks great in the live action CGI style. Like, I just want to hug him. And he's still voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy. She does a fantastic job of Tails. Tails has been voiced by a lot of different people over the years. Out of all the Sonic characters, he's had the most voice actors, actually, and Dr. Eggman has had the least. But Colleen O'Shaughnessy has been voicing Tails since Sonic Boom. I thought she had voiced him since Sonic Generations, but I was mistaken on that. She didn't start voicing him until Sonic Boom, apparently, not Sonic Generations. But yeah, she's my favorite voice of Tails. She does a fantastic job at voicing the character. It's awesome that we got one of the original voice actors of the games to be to reprise their role in these new movies. So that's pretty awesome. And Knuckles, he looks great as well. Idris Elba does a great job at voicing Knuckles. I really like Idris Elba himself. I think he's a great actor, and he did a really good job at voicing Knuckles. And and yeah, his take on Knuckles was his take on Knuckles was really good, and I really liked it. And also the personalities of the characters are great as well. Knuckles' personality is bit different. He's way more serious and more of a no-nonsense character in this movie, and I really like the personalities of Team Sonic, as it were. So yeah, Sonic, all three members of Team Sonic, all their personalities are great in this movie, and so that's a huge highlight. Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik is still clap with my phone in my hands. Jim Carrey still does a just outstanding job at playing Dr. Robotnik. He's still very animated. Like I said, he's a living cartoon character, like some call me Johnny said. Like I said before, I've been a fan of Jim Carrey for years, since I was a kid, and so even nowadays he still has the same spring to step. And so yeah, he looks great. There's one Easter egg in the movie where we get to see a more classic version of Dr. Robotnik, and so that with Jim Carrey looking more like classic Dr. Robotnik, more rotund and egg-shaped. So that's really cool to see. And Dr. Robotnik has a proper-looking Eggmobile, and some of the robots look like some of the enemies from the games as well. They're colored like mainly white and have like red circular drone-looking eyes, and so yeah, so that's neat. There's an area that resembles the games, like sort of a what the hell? Yeah, there's an area that resembles the games that's like sort of a mixture of the Mystic Ruins from Sonic Adventure and the Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 1. I really liked that area, and what I loved is that not only do the members of Team Sonic adventure through that, but also Dr. Robotnik ventures through that area as well. First, Knuckles and Robotnik arrive at that area to look for the Master Emerald in this movie, and so not only do you get to see like the original playable characters for the Sonic games adventuring through this area, but you can also see like Dr. Robotnik as well platforming, quote unquote, through these areas as well. So that's really cool. That was a really nice thing to see, him like venturing through this level too. So that was really cool, and at one point he almost gets his nuts sawed off. So yeah, and this continuity, the Master Emerald is a combination of all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds, and they're all much smaller as a result. Like the Master Emerald itself is no longer giant. The Master Emerald itself is the same size as the Chaos Emeralds would normally be in the games, and then the Chaos Emeralds themselves are only about like this big once they're all split up into the original 7. So yeah, again, jumping all over the place with this review, but other things I liked, like a couple other like references that I liked. I forget what the acronym stands for, but Gun makes an appearance in this movie, so that's neat. And I think it's like Guardians of United Nations or something like that. I can't remember what that stands for. The Guardian Units of Nations. I was very close. I was very close. But yeah, another cool little reference is that Agent Stone, Dr. Robotnik's sidekick in this, he runs a coffee shop known as the Mean Bean Coffee Shop. That's an awesome little reference. And Agent Stone is also great too in this movie, honestly. And so I guess I'll talk about the human characters now. Some of the human characters are right. Some of them I could sort of do without, like Dr. Robotnik, great, obviously, and Agent Stone is even just as likable too. And he seems to have the Agent Stone seems to have a huge infatuation with Dr. Robotnik in this movie. It's pretty funny to see. He's almost like a hopeless romantic for Dr. Robotnik. Yeah. So we'll see if that develops any further in the 3rd movie. But anyway, so yeah, the human characters, James Marsden and Tika Sumpter's characters are I enjoy them on screen, yeah, since they're directly tied to Sonic. They're his surrogate caretakers in this movie, so they serve pretty important roles in the movie. And yeah, Donut Lord and Pretzel Lady, as Sonic calls them. I can't remember their names. I can't remember the actual characters' names in the movie, but Pretzel Lady's sister is kind of insignificant as the other human characters might be. the sister is honestly pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, and her the husband, Shamar Moore's character is it's like, yeah, like here it's like kind of so for me. Like I really like Shamar Moore. I'm a huge fan of. I've been a huge fan of Shamar Moore for quite a while. I enjoy watching him on Criminal Minds. So yeah, it was nice to see Shamar Moore in the second Sonic movie. But yeah, so yeah, and again, jumping back and forth here. The approaching the climax of the movie where Eggman retrieves the Master Emerald and he gets high off the Master Emerald and he turns green. Eggman honestly looks good in green. I'm not gonna lie, not just because green's my favorite color. He just happens to look really good in green. And because of that, he's able to summon the Death Egg robot. Now in this movie, it is fucking huge, like the size of a skyscraper, and it's purple in this game. I mean, not game. It's purple in this movie, as opposed to the games where it's red and yellow. But yeah, it is fucking massive in this. And then jumping to the end of the battle, or throughout the battle, we get some Sonic Heroes moments, which is cool because finally Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all team up and it becomes Sonic Heroes. And then near the end, when Sonic it seems to be reaching near death and he seems to be crushed by the Death Egg robot, he transforms into Super Sonic, and he looks really good in this movie, which I actually wasn't spoiled for, surprisingly. Now, something I was spoiled for, like pretty much the first week the movie came out, unfortunately, was the post-credit scene, which long story short reveals a close-up of Shadow the Hedgehog. So he's going to show up in the third movie, so yeah. That's going to be neat to see. So, although funny enough, I was led to believe Amy Rose was going to be in this movie too, but that wasn't the case at all. So I thought I was spoiled for that, but I wasn't. So it turns out the only thing I was spoiled for was Shadow the Hedgehog. That was it. But yeah. So like I said, I really love this movie. I thought it was great, and a couple of my favorite moments are when Sonic and Tails arrive at Siberia. The dance-off portion was pretty fun to watch, and yeah, I thought that was a blast to watch. And at the end of that, when Sonic and Tails have to like camp out and crash for the night, first off, I gotta say, Sonic and Tails' dynamic in this movie is fantastic. I've always loved those two as a pairing, and they've always had such a precious relationship. They've always had like this. They've always been like practically brothers, and throughout the different continuities, and so I absolutely love their relationship in all Sonic media. And their relationship in this is great, like I said, and they have a fantastic dynamic. And so, yeah, one of my favorite parts in the movie is when they're about to crash into the what was that, a bar or something? That's Siberia or something. I forget what kind of place. It was like a saloon or something. Anyway, when they're crashing at that place for the night, they're about to go to sleep. And Sonic covers Tails with a blanket, and then Tails, in return, covers Sonic with his two tails to keep him warm. I swear that was one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my life, and that is definitely one of my favorite scenes throughout the entire movie, like top 3. Another one of my favorite scenes is when Sonic does a little love tap on the Death Egg robot, which apparently is a reference to Sonic 06. I'd forgotten about that. I never played Sonic 06, but I watched Johnny's review for Sonic 06 back in the day. That was like a 53-minute fucking video. I had forgotten about that moment from Sonic 06. And then as the Death Egg is falling backward, Eggman is like, "Oh, so it's like that now?" Oh my god, that was great. Eggman's dialogue is fucking great. The CGI for the Death Egg is kind of not very convincing at points. Kind of shoddy, but from what I understand, that was motion captured from Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey, like I say, he's a living cartoon character, and with his rubbery movements, it's sort of hard for motion capture technology to make that look convincing in real life. Like So Call Me Johnny said, that's more of a compliment to Jim Carrey and his talent in physical comedy. And yeah, so this, all in all, this movie was a fantastic ride. It was great. I love all the references. I love the characters. I love how well. I love the love and respect to the source material. I even like the somewhat. I even like some of the creative liberties that they made in this, and so I love the characters' personalities in this movie. Even some of the human characters I enjoyed seeing on screen. Like some of the new human characters. Probably my favorite new human character in this has to be Agent Stone, but because he's hilarious, and his infatuation for Jim Carrey's Robotnik is his infatuation for Robotnik is funny. It's funny to see. It's always funny to see that kind of like a hopeless romantic kind of personality for whenever someone admires a character, and then it's like sort of a notice me senpai type of situation, for lack of a better word. I love seeing that, honestly. So yeah, that's the best way I can describe that. So yeah, overall great movie, and I'm glad I finally got to review it. Oh, and I love the animated short Sonic Drone Home as well. That was released for the digital version of the movie, I think. So yeah, I was able to see that in full on YouTube. That was a great little short. That was a cute little short as well. Some of the characters got a recast. Sonic is still voiced by Ben Schwartz, but in that short, but that almost rhymes. But and Tails is voiced by someone else entirely. I forgot. But instead of Idris Elba voicing Knuckles in this short, Knuckles is instead voiced by Fred Tatasciore in this short, who I became a fan of due to his work in the Gears of War and Crash Bandicoot series. Those are really the only series of his that I'm remotely familiar with. But anyway, so that was interesting. I forgot who voices the drone in that in that animated short, but that was a cool little short too. There's even an edited version of that shows the characters with health bars. So I didn't watch that, but that concept sounded interesting. So yeah. Overall, like I said, I really loved this movie. I thought it was great. While the first one was pretty good, this one was great, and I loved it a whole lot. And I thought this was, I guess, 8 out of 10 for me. And so, yeah. So, in terms of what they're going to do for the story, the first movie was sort of based on Sonic 1, and then the second movie was based off a combination of the stories of Sonic 2 and 3, and the third Sonic movie is apparently going to be based on the Sonic Adventure games, more so Sonic Adventure 2. But there's even a Sonic Adventure 1 reference in this movie. But yeah, so I want to see more characters. I want to see Amy Rose in the third movie. I want to see Rouge in the third movie. And I wonder what other characters we're going to see. I know we're probably definitely going to see Amy Rose in the next movie. But yeah, she's one of my favorite Sonic characters too, along with Tails. So I think this is it. This video was a bit longer than I thought it was going to be, but I still think I did okay for my first video review for anything in 2 years? I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm done here. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Like the video if you liked it. Ring the bell to be notified of future videos I make. That way you never miss a single upload from me. And what if you've seen the Sonic movie, the second Sonic movie, let me know what you thought of the movie in the comment section below. And let me know what your expectations are for the third Sonic movie. And I've been saying, I said and like fucking 30 times in this video. But yeah, next, stay tuned for my review for the Super Mario Brothers movie. Yes, that is coming out this fucking week. Or, well, I'm gonna see it this week. It's coming out like next week or something like that. Look forward to that. I know I am. So, yeah, I think I'm done here. So, with that being said, once again, I'm Alex Wimmer, aka AP3Jump. Thank you so much for watching until the end. That's it for me, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.